For today's Tech Check, our Deirdre Bosa sat down with Lyft CEO David Risher as we approach his first 100 days in the role. Hi, Dee.
You know, Mike, I got to San Francisco back in 2016 when the ride-sharing companies, they were still raising billions of dollars in the private market, and they were seen as some of the most innovative, disruptive, and certainly in the case of Uber, combative companies in America. So it is fascinating to see where we are now. Those ride-sharing wars, they look more like a ride-sharing duopoly. Both companies, they have scaled back greater ambitions and things like autonomous driving. Uber has pulled away as the clear #1 player. It's growing a food delivery business. And almost 100 days ago, Lyft's co-founders, they handed over the CEO job to David Risher, someone who has spent much of his career running a nonprofit and held positions at Amazon and Microsoft. Now, one of the first things he did as CEO was to become more competitive on pricing. So I asked him if that would continue, leading to a new price war, the thing we used to see in the earlier days of ride sharing. Have a listen.
Our strategy is not really to compete on price, honestly. We want price to sort of be off the table. In fact,
but it's been the most effective so far.
And it definitely is a great starting point, right? You got to start there. If you price high, people tend not to use you. But the way I think about it is, I really think it is in everyone's best interest to have Uber and Lyft on their phone. And I really do think that. Look, there are going to be times, a holiday, 4th of July, crazy event, whatever it is. One of us might let you down. I hope it's never, ever us. But I really hope you've got choice, because guess what? That people like that. And so I think if you start thinking of it that way, then you'll understand how we're starting to think about our kind of almost reintroduction to the world is we deserve a place on that phone.
So lower or better pricing has actually helped Lyft win back a few percentage points in terms of market share, but it doesn't sound like further price wars are on the table. So instead, both companies, Uber and Lyft, they're likely to continue to focus on better profitability, regulatory battles. Risher also told me that being #2 isn't a terrible thing. But guys, I go back to the early days. Lyft raised more than $7 billion from investors, both private markets, folks like VCs, and through its IPO, so through retail investors. Its market cap today stands at about $4.3 billion. It just kind of astounds me what this industry has gone through. It hasn't really lived up to the hype in the early days, kind of muddling along, though you see Uber at nearly $100 billion market cap. So who knows where that tops out.